Hello, Pam. Can you hear me? Just getting technology set up here. Hello, Carol. Glad to see you. You can hear me type. Okay, that's good then. If you can hear me type, we're doing well. All right, welcome, ladies. We are going to get started here this morning on this chilly Sunday morning. Hey, it's Shel Anderson from Shel's Creative Corner and Shel Anderson Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com, and I can be reached anytime by email at andersonshel@gmail.com. Today we are going to play with a card sketch, and I went on the internet and I found this sketch, and basically you have 5 4x1 inch strips, so scrap bin friendly, and then you have a 2x3 art piece and a 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 matte layer. Okay, so we're going to make 2 cards today. We're going to do a more feminine version and a more masculine version, and if you stay with me to the end, I have 2 more samples to share with you. Okay, so I've prepped some of this, and we're going to do 1 card in navy and so saffron. So I have my 5 pieces of strips for the card front, and I have my matte layer and my art piece. Okay, and then of course I have my card base. So I'm just going to fold my card base, and I'm going to put these strips right on the front of the card. Okay, but because this card base is so dark, we're going to need to add a matte layer to the inside of the card. Sorry, I was just measuring that. It seemed a little bit big when I picked it up. I guess I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. So there we have a nice area where we can put our message. All right, so I'm going to alternate these like so, and put them right down on the card front. And of course I'm using my favorite adhesive, which is Tombow, and I'm just trying to make my margins even all the way around. I love these cards that are scrap bin friendly. It helps me use up some of my scraps. This strip is a little bit too long, and I want it to be perfect. So when I cut that, I didn't cut it exactly right. But as long as you catch it before you glue it down, you should be good. And then we're just butting them up one against the other. Like so. Now when I did one of my cards yesterday, I noticed that my margin at the bottom was a little bit larger than what it should have been. So what I did is I just took a little snip off the bottom end so that the card was visually symmetrical. What is it that Mike Holmes says? It doesn't have to be straight, it has to be true. And I think that's what's going to happen on this card as well. And I'm just going to put this in here and take off just a titch. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Oops, my garbage bin is way over here. All right, so we have our card base done. Now we need to work on our focal image. So I am going to pull in the Sailing Home stamp set. And I am going to also pull in, I think I have it right here somewhere, the Itty Bitty Greeting stamp set. Because this art piece is so small, we're going to need a tiny, tiny greeting. And I think I'm just going to go for this one that says "For You." That way you can use it for whatever occasion you want. I think it's this one here. Yep. All right. And I'm going to go with, I think this boat would be too big. So I'm just going to go with the tiny boat and the birds. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my Stamparatus and stamp my greeting. And I just want that greeting down here in this lower corner. And hopefully I can get that lined up straight. And it's not straight right now, that's for sure. Wow. Either my eyes are really wrong or that label is really crooked. We're about to find out. All right, I am going to use Misty Moonlight ink. I know my card is navy, but I don't want my greeting to appear black. And if I have to stamp it twice, oh, it's just a little bit crooked. All right, we're good. Lets us know that it's homemade card. All right, so we'll set that stamp aside. Now what I'm quickly gonna do is I am just going to grab the Pool Party, nope, the Seaside Spray and the Balmy Blue. And I'm going to grab my blue blending brush. Holy, there's a mouthful. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the Balmy Blue to the sky. And we're just going to use the back side of this piece of paper. And I just want to take some of the white off this. It doesn't have to be all filled in. As you see, there's some white space in there so that it kind of looks like there's some clouds in there. I just don't want it to be so stark. And then I'm going to brush that off a little bit. And we're going to load on some Seaside. And we're going to put this color at the bottom to kind of mimic water. And we'll go a little heavier down here. Okay. So what I'm trying to show you today is that when you have a sketch, and even a very simple sketch like this one, you can take it to different places just by what your creativity allows you to do. So all 4 cards that I'm doing, all 4 cards that I'm doing today are following this sketch exactly, but they're all going to be different. So stay tuned for that fun. Now I am going to stamp my little sailboat somewhere in the middle. And for that I am going to use the Memento black ink. I think my ink pad might need some re-inking. So we'll probably have to stamp this a couple of times. We want a nice dark image, like so. And my seagulls for the top of the card, I'm going to do in smoky slate. So I'm just going to move this down, put my seagulls on something like that, and we will get them inked up with the smoky slate. There we go. All good. So now we'll get these inks out of the way. We'll clean this stamp up, put our stamps away so we don't lose any. I looked yesterday for 20 minutes for a stamp, and it was, get this, stuck to the bottom of my shoe. Yep. All right, stamps are all back in their cases. So now I am going to bring in a couple of Stampin' blends, and I'm going to try the Light Moonlight Madness, or I guess it's called Misty Moonlight, pardon me. And that is going to be our boat. Trying to pull in the colors from the cardstock. And then I'm going to do the sails in So Saffron. And we're going to start with the light and see what it looks like. We may have to go to the dark. Let's just bring this card base in and see. I think that's going to be fine. And this is a very, very simple image to color. You're just adding a hint of color to it. It's not, no skill involved in that one, my friends. All right. So now I can get some adhesive on here. And get this layered up. See how just that little bit of light blending brush, adding ink with the blending brush, added just a little hint of color so it wasn't so stark. All right, I'm putting dimensionals on the back side. And we will pop this in place. Something to that effect. And now, if I could find, I don't know if I have any or not, but I am going to look and see what I have to embellish this that isn't too looks a little more on the masculine side. What do you think? I think I'm going to put 3 of these little guys down at the bottom here. Oh, they're stubborn. They don't want to come off there. Let's see if this will help. 1 here. Come on. 2. And 1 more. There we go. And I do believe those are the 2022 in color enamel dots. All right, very, very simple. There is our first card. Hi, Susan, glad you could join us. Okay, so that's my more masculine version of this card. Now I'm going to try to take it in a more feminine direction using the same colors, only in a different on a different card base, okay? But it's the same color family. All right, so once again, I'm going to do it exactly the same as I did it last time, right direct on the card front. And the cards that I have to show you that I did last night with this same sketch are a more neutral color, so that's going to be exciting. Change it up a little bit. Oops. You know what? Let's change this up even a little bit more. Let's change this one and bring in a matte layer. See what it looks like. Now the sketch doesn't call for it, but that doesn't mean that we can't make the card our own. So I am going to make this matte 4 inches. No, 4 1/8. I'm going to make it 4 1/8. I can't. This is only 4. I need a different piece of paper. Bear with me a minute. I know I have white cardstock right here. All right. 4 1/8. There we go. All right, I think that's what I need. We're about to find out if that's going to work. Just want a little yellow border. Did I grab the wrong side? No, it is just the wrong. Let me grab my other trimmer. I can read the numbers better on this one. All right, so my card base is 4 1/4. I want this to be 4 1/8. Yeah, see, I couldn't read the numbers as well on the other one. See if that is going to be better. Yes, it is. Now, 5 1/2 and back 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Do a double check before I start adding. Awesome. Okay, we're good, ladies. So now we are going to put our strips on the white. And you see there's just going to be a little wee border on here. So let's get these down. Try to match your borders as best you can on 3 sides. And you could do this with 5 different colored strips of cardstock. That's what I was going to do at first, because I think that's what, if you can see the shading on the diagram, on the sketch, it looks on the sketch as if it's 5 different shades. So that would really clean out your scrap bin. But I thought I would go with just 2 and see what it looks like. And now we're adding the white matte layer. We'll see what that looks like. This one is a titch too long, so we're just going to snip a little bit off. There we go. And that's crooked. Before I get this fixed, my glue's gonna be dry. Here we go. All right. Let's dry fit this one and make sure it's right. Yep. All right, and as you can see, we're going to have a little bit of trimming to do. I should use my other trimmer where I can see better. Don't want to have to redo all of that. All right. Not quite enough. There we go. Good enough. All right, so now we're going to be putting this on to the yellow cardstock. And once again, I am going to trim a little bit off the bottom of this because I want it to be true, as Mike Holmes would say. And the reason that I'm having to do that, I mean, you don't have to do that, I'm just a little bit fussy, but it's because of the sketch has the 1-inch strips, right? So you have to make your card to fit the design. Oh, didn't go through both layers of cardstock. There we go. There. All right. Now we get to work on our art panel. So we're going to bring in our Stamparatus, and I have chosen the gorgeous Flowering Blooms stamp set. I've only used the stamp set once, I'm embarrassed to say. And I have never used the stamp that I'm going to use today. And it is this gorgeous, I think I can fit it on here. I'm hoping I can. Those big cabbage roses. Isn't that pretty? Something like that. We'll figure out a greeting after we get this on here. Memento, where did you go? There you are. All right. And we'll probably have to stamp this several times because I've never used this stamp. Not too bad for the first go. All right. So, where's my cloth? We'll clean that up. And then we'll see if one of these beautiful scripted greetings will fit. I think this fancy little thank you will work. Right down in that corner. See if that's straight. Pretty close, I think. We're about to find out. And I'm going to go back to the blue, the Misty Moonlight ink pad. And I'm going to stamp it twice. And I find that when you stamp this one twice, it looks like Night of Navy with just one stamping. I find if you have to stamp the Night of Navy twice, it looks almost black. All right, so we have our stamping done. Now we need to color those beautiful roses. And I'm going to flip this over here, and I am going to bring in the dark So Saffron to color those roses. And I think I'm going to use the big end because it's just straight coloring, just filling in the color, as this is one of those distinctive stamps, and all the texture and definition, the artist who created the stamp has already done it all for us, so there's really no way to add any shading or anything to this one. It's just simply laying on color. Aren't those pretty? Bet you they'd be some pretty in pink. All right, now we're going to need a little hint of green for the leaves. And I don't know whether, I think that Mossy Meadow is going to be too dark. You're not even going to notice it. So I'm going to go super light, and I'm going to go to a dark Granny Apple Green. I think you'll be able to see that better. Well, you pretty much lose it as well. So I'm just gonna draw over those black lines so that we're going to get a little hint of green here or there. All right. So now we are going to layer this one up. Ooh, lots of glue on this one. Oh, that's pretty. All right. So we're going to need some dimensionals. Oops, those are minis. There's the big guys. And then we get to go a little more feminine with the embellishment on this one. I'm thinking we might put a bow on here. And I just don't know what I have for ribbon in the saffron colors. I don't think there's anything current. I really don't. I have this bumblebee, but it looks orange. So I'm going to pull out, don't laugh at me ladies, I'm pulling out this great big bucket of baker's twine to see if we have anything in saffron from days gone by. Oh, we have this gold thread. That might be kind of cool. Where's my card? No, it's going to get lost. All right, I have Moonlight. We can try that. That's not even anything. Do you think I have a little bit of a ribbon addiction? Crazy, eh? All right. I'm going to look in one other place and see what I have. For saffron ribbon. The only saffron that I see here is really, really dark or striped. So I have this one, and it's like a thick grosgrain ribbon. I don't think I want that big, but this one's striped. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to make bows with both of those, and so we'll decide which one we want to go with. How's that sound? Sound like a plan? All right, I'm going to make a double bow with this baker's twine and see what it looks like. Slide these up. And I just doubled my baker's twine and went around the bow maker twice, trying to give it a little bit of substance. Ribbon scissors. So there is the navy one. You guys get prepared, because once I get this one done, I'm going to ask your opinion as to which one you like the best. Oops, I have pop-ups on my screen. All right, so now we will go for this So Saffron. And this one is just going to be a single bow. And this feels like grosgrain ribbon too. I mean, it's old as Methuselah, but it has a softer feel. All right, we will check it out. And of course, we'll have to glue dot them in place, but all right, what do you think? The blue is number 1, and the saffron number 2. Number 1 or number 2? Tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you what I think. And while you guys put your answers in there, I am going to find some rhinestones because I want to pretty this up a little bit. Pam says blue. Well, Pam, you're the first one to say it. You win, and I 100% agree with you. I did not like the So Saffron one. I'm not really a yellow fan much, but I was trying to step outside my comfort zone a little bit. All right. Awesome. Carol agrees too. That's great. We're all on the same page. Now I am going to add a little sprinkling of shimmer here by adding 3 little rhinestones just to zazazoo that up a little bit. And once again, I've worked myself into a mess here, and I can't even see my desktop. All right, let's get this out of the way, and we will bring back our sketch, and I'm going to lay out today's 2 cards for you to look at there. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in the cards that I did yesterday. And the cards I did yesterday, I did a sympathy card with this Comfort and Hope stamp set. And I did another Guy card with the A Good Man stamp set. And as I said, these ones are neutrals. So I'm going to pull this sketch out. And I am going to pull in my cards that I did last night. Maybe I'll bring them up close to the camera so you can see them. So those are the 2 cards that I did using the exact same sketch, exact same layout. So you can see how very easily, this one here I just added a tag for the greeting because I really didn't have enough room here. And just by changing it up just a little bit, adding different embellishments, you can make them masculine, you can make them feminine, you can make it for a kid. You know, you can really switch it up. And I love the fact that you can use up those little scraps of paper that we have umpteen zillion of. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this little Sunday stamp with me. And I will see you guys back here on Wednesday. Don't forget this week, I believe it is on Monday, the Butterfly Brilliance Bundle. That's the new release from the annual catalog, that early release. That goes live. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Bye, ladies. Have a good day.